flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We've got concerned citizen regarding the health department.
And to the republic for which it stands, one nation under.
We were actually just trying to observe the day and see how things work, but
Oh.
yes, I mean, if you can answer any questions for us about the health department, that would be great. Such as, are you who appoints, the medical officer? And how are the decisions made for our county? Such as, could we withdraw from the mask mandate as the state if the county saw that was fit for us, like other counties have done?
We, if I'm thinking right here, the health department themselves have a board. And the board is who puts the officials, as you'd say, in place through that board. It's a bi-county, Warren Fountain, bi-county health board that do that.
Is there, do you know why that it's conjoined, I guess?
I don't know why, I don't know when it was done, but it's one of the things that Fountain and Warren share along with the 911 system. Is a combined effort as well.
We're the only county in the state, I believe, that doesn't own counties.
And this was
And
done
it's
back
just
in
a share thing.
1966. I have the information, the board minutes from Warren County and Mountain County regarding that.
Both our populations don't equal most county size. That's probably the reason it's put together.
Have you, any other questions?
Yeah, we weren't really planning on addressing that today, we're just kind of observing the flow of this meeting.
Welcome, appreciate you being here. I need a motion on the minutes.
I'll make a motion.
All right, ready to vote? I'll second, ready for the vote, all those in favor? All right, votes 2-0. Claims 1 through 198, monthly, and payroll claims.
I'll make a motion. I'll say.
Ready for the vote, all those in favor? Votes 3-0.
We do have, let me ask this, Valley Oaks, 57,423. I know we have,
We pay them twice a year, that amount.
well, before we paid them once a year in the past. It's been almost 100,000.
Well, that, yeah, we split it up.
And that's what, that was, okay.
Economic development, Rob Van. Van here.
It's a nowhere way room.
Oh, that department head, of course, Rusty.
I don't have a whole lot, but update on 1,000 after I sent the information I had with AT&T. I sent it to the attorney's office. AT&T called and we had a meeting. They have agreed to move the south end out of our way, all the cables that are on the south end of 1,000 south there, which will allow us to get down and actually slide the pipe under the existing fiber optic cables, which I think it's doable. I've agreed with them. If they'll do their part, we'll attempt to get in and get ours. They pretty much assured us, even with jackhammering and what have you, if we take it out piece by piece, we will not disturb their fiber optic. It is in construction conduit. So with that being said, I haven't seen it in the construction conduit, but I will work with them in the attempt to get 1,000 South open by the 22nd of this month. I hope to have that all completely done. The other major project is
There's 2 coppers on that and 2 fibers on that line too.
there's a 6 and a 300 copper on the south side, and there's 2 fiber optics, one right down the middle of the road, which they said, once I open the road, they will expose it for us. They assured me it's in construction conduit. And the one on the north end that goes down under our box, they assured me the depth is way below what our actual excavation point should be. And if we'll gently take it out piece by piece, we should have a problem. And I mean, I was satisfied with their confidence that there won't be a disturbance. I'm like I said, I haven't seen the conduit, but as soon as we get down there, we can work around that. And then I can slide the pipe in with no problem, because once it's exposed, we can operate under the exposure. And once they loop out of our way on the south end, then it gives me room to come in. So I'm confident we can get this done by the 22nd.
Did Alan sign that?
Pardon?
You get that back down?
I've got all the property owner's signature except Mr. Noonan. I'm supposed to meet with him sometime here, whenever he's available. But I want it done before harvest, and then that way that road's got, got the transportation. And the second major thing is the mowing of River Road. I'm moving the electric signboards up there. So letting them know this road is going to be slowed or stop traffic, because all 3 mowers would be up there. The edges they're hanging clear out over the passenger lane. So we've got to cut it back, and 90% of it's on the railroad property side. So that's just something that's got to be done, and that road is heavily traveled as it is. I've got to have a lot of flaggers up there, and I don't think we're going to have a problem with it. So other than that, that's basically about all I've got, unless you guys have something else. You might pray for Travis, though. He and his wife are headed to Sturgis on the motorcycle. I see there's a major snowstorm out there in South Florida. So I hope he didn't leave.
Thank you.
I emailed Kim some information regarding withholdings, federal taxes and everything. My suggestion is that we opt out, and I think a lot of counties are opting out. They're just gonna continue taking out taxes like we are normally doing right now, because otherwise in the future, you're gonna have to pay it back, and then instead of $100, they'll pay a check $200. They're not gonna really like that, and I don't think it's really been a hardship for anybody. Ken, did you want to?
Yeah, I mean, that's the, I don't try to take a poll of we represent a number of towns and counties and city, other municipal governments. They're not, you have the option to defer those payroll taxes. And it's, we have some guidance from the State Auditors Association. We have the way other communities handle it. It's an executive decision. And the way I interpret the Auditors Association's recommendations, you're protecting, more or less protecting our employees from themselves, because if the feds would clarify, or if the state takes different action, and it doesn't come through, then these people are going to wind up owing that money, and they may not have it. That isn't coming out of their, withholding. That's the way withholding works. You don't spend what you don't ever see. Well, if we see it and they spend it, then our employees can be in a bad way. And none of we represent at least 9, major, communities with large, general funds, and they are not electing to take advantage of this for the employees that are looking at it as a way to protect them because the law, the law is just too muddy. It's just deferred right now, and with the air on the side of government, the tax is still gonna be there, it's just not.
And I think it was just suggested to bring before the commissioners so that the commissioners can make action, so that there's a record that.
Yeah, so I would just recommend just having just a simple motion in the record that, the county at this time is going to elect not to, defer those taxes, and the taxes will continue, as they are. If something changes, we get better clarity from the, most importantly, the federal government, or if the state takes different action, then we can follow. So it's just at this time.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Ready for the vote, all those in favor?
Aye.
Those 3 oh.
That was it.
Gar?
Morning. Just a few things. Finished out last month, another busy month. What we're seeing, we've been seeing the last 2 or 3 months, we've been seeing a lot more runs in the attic area. And we are going to the Badlands a lot more. I think a lot of reason is they're open now 7 days a week. They were actually closed like Mondays and Monday, Tuesday, but due to the recreation having no limits, they're open, and we're going there about through the weekend, at least 3 to 4 times a day. So, but we are seeing a lot more runs in Attica than normal. So I think a lot of that's, can't say it's all the Badlands, but a lot of it is. So, but another busy month for August. We're up to about that. July and August, we were averaging over 8 runs a day, which we typically are around 6 or a little above 6. So I don't see the numbers dropping down that much. So, couple things. When they came in and replaced that carpeting that was damaged in the leak that we had, there was some of that old carpeting that was still good that they had to pull up because the carpet that was down was obsolete. So they had to go with a newer design. So we still have a stack of that old carpeting, and I don't know if you want me to look at the cost on that, and if we want to sell that. I don't know how you want to do that, donate it. It's good carpeting. They're the 18 by or 24 by 24 square, carpeting. Yeah, little carpet squares. I don't know.
That's something you stack away to say 20 years later.
Go back to it again. I'd like to get rid of before 20 years. I mean, I don't know how you want to do it. I had my assistant said there was a family in his church that was looking for carpeting, wanted to know if we could donate it, but I know that's county property, and I know that has to go a little different.
If it's worth less than $1,000 net, so if it costs $500 to publish notice and things, if it's estimated fair market value is worth less than $1,000, then you can declare a surplus. The commissioners can give you authority to dispose of it.
Okay.
However you see fit.
Okay.
I mean, how much of that do you have? How many pieces that you?
Oh, geez. I'm gonna say there's 75 to 100 squares, 50 to 75 probably. I mean, there was,
And this wasn't affected.
yeah, this wasn't affected. What happened is, they took out what was affected, and this is all that was left over. They had to come back in and, tear that out because that they couldn't get that style. So they tore it out and brought in the new style, and that's all the still good stuff. I would call good, but it's that particular design is obsolete.
Makes you call the folks that put it in and ask them how much that's worth, and if it's under $1,000.
Right, that's what I wanted, if that's okay.
Make sure there's no other entities in the county.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that clarifies what I'll do that and then I'll come back and let you guys know on that, so. The old chase truck, still sitting there. I don't know what you guys want to do with it. We've got a short in it somewhere because it's dead again. Not a lot we can do with it outside of, I mean, it's kind of what I didn't know if you want me to call around and see if Salvage Yard wants it for parts. What you guys want to do with that?
Scrap, I'm sure.
No. I'd like to get it out of there, but I mean, it's,
That's what I do. I mean, it's.
Okay.
There again, it's not worth over $1,000. It's not
Yeah.
worth
Right.
$1,000.
Right.
And,
okay.
you know, sit there.
It's kind of the same thing with
Rust
carpet.
away.
Yeah.
Rid of it.
I'll check on that and I'll bring it back to you guys and see what they want on that. Get rid of that. I'd like get it out of there because it's just sitting right now.
Contact Mecca.
Who? Mecca? Okay.
That's a good side of the yard.
Okay. Okay. For trucks, we're plugging away. They're doing okay. I got one that's, the 2015 wheel coach we bought back in first truck we bought. Having a little bit of AC troubles with it. There's a couple sensors in there. We've replaced one. There's another one under the dash that's kind of giving us some fits. We're gonna have to take it back up and get it fixed. But other than that, knock on wood, we're holding our own right now. So
Is the runs, not picking on bad lines, that's per se, but is majority of the runs for the bad lines is insurance? Are all the runs covered?
yeah, most of them are. Some of them are not. You know, but that's kind of been the way it has always been. Most of them, you know, their insurance will cover it.
The majority?
The majority of them. There's a few that don't. And usually we'll run through our process, and we've had a few that we've had to go as far as send them to collections because they won't pay it. But as soon as it goes to collections, that first call they get from them, they're calling and getting it taken care of.
You have a unit up there.
We have not at the Badlands. We have just the one ambulance in
That's
Attica.
what I meant.
Yeah, yeah. Yesterday, they were there 4 times, and of course, the ambulance was on other calls, you know, within the city and the Badlands, and we were pulling a truck from Petersburg, you know, to go up there, which we lucked out. A couple of them we didn't transport, but we are sending trucks from Petersburg to Attica because they are going out on other calls.
How are you going around that?
Most of them, I think, are going up Corporation Line Road to Stone Bluff and around.
That's the safest route.
Yeah.
Shell Pit, I just want to make sure they wasn't taking Shell Pit Road, that's a death trap.
No, I think they first started doing that, and then, as you said, it's just so narrow.
All the way cars coming around.
Yeah.
there.
We've tried the other way. We've also tried Division Road, 341, 300 North, 55, and we have found that, you know, either Division Road, 341 to 300 North, over to 41 and go north. We've tried that. And then we've also went Division Road, 341 to 55, but those are seems to be a little longer than going the Corporation Line Road to Stone Bluff. So that's what they've predominantly been doing. I'm hoping they get it open soon.
We said in November yesterday on the site.
Did it really? I know that somebody drove up there and said the box, I don't know, box culvert, concrete culvert boxes were set, but none of the approaches had been touched.
They got the bridge open back way over.
Yeah, I saw that. They got that opened up, but I think,
They repaved that to the north.
yeah, but I don't think we can go across that because I think there's a 10-foot. I think we'll be close for us to even go across that bridge because I think it's a 10-foot cutoff, isn't it? Height restriction. Right, almost at like 910, 99, 910. You know, so we'll be close. Yeah. I don't have anything else. Okay, thank you.
Sheriff Holt, is he here? There you go. Andrew?
How are you? Only thing I have is a USDA grant that I want to apply for. but I need approval from the commissioners before I can go forward with it. For the new vehicles for next year, rural development grant pay for 35% of all vehicles and equipment.
So there's
So,
no downside to that.
no,
No. That's all.
I mean, they either approve us or don't, and so we either get 35% or we don't, but
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
We're ready to vote, all those in favor? Aye. Votes 3-0.
I'll need you to sign it, and then Brenda and Kent will sign this application at some point after the meeting.
You got it.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Good. You good, Sheriff?
Where do I begin? No, I'm just kidding. Just, we just had a problem with the generator. Got a generator come in here, and apparently the pipe, the gas line was actually smaller than it should have been. So they replaced it. Generator was fine, was like hidden, so,
That was the east.
so everything works.
Good deal. Yeah, sure.
You guys anything for me?
How many things you got in?
Got 43 right now. They will send, we were holding for DOC, so we sent a bill for that. So you should get some money roughly. They very much like $3,400, something like that. So
Appreciate it. Transfer, public safety. 10,000 from jailers to overtime. I'll second. Ready to vote, all those in favor? Aye. Votes 3-0. Right, the health department here. You see anyone? Joe? No, I don't. So we got a couple quotes here from, PC, $10,079.99. This is a server. And then a IT contract at $41.50. Monthly contract agreement or hourly rate to the jail and sheriff's department. This, it's pretty general. Have you seen any, what we're getting here? You know, what's the description of what he's talking or?
Oh, are you talking about server or the
On
contract?
the server.
On the
and-
server, he has been babying the server that we have. It's been over 5 years since we got it, and the price is real comparable what we got back then years ago. And I know Dudley asked his IT person, and he sent me an email, I think I forwarded on, that he was fine with that, the quote, if I can still get it at that price. Or close to it, because I think last time it might have been a little bit more, so. And I do have money budgeted for the server.
Okay, and I'm sure you looked over this amendment for this contract agreement.
I did forward that on to Kent and his firm. And, the price is still good on that, I'm being told.
What was it before? Did we have anything?
The server,
No, the contract agreement.
the contract, right now, we're paying $2,000, but that's just for the courthouse. The sheriff's department never really had, a contract, and I know the question was asked, about how many computers, and the trouble is, you can about count on 2 computers per individual, because the deputies have them in their vehicles, they have them in the jail, but you also have to take into account the networking that's involved, the copiers, the printers that, the IT person has to oversee.
So this is for the current contract he has with us right now, plus the jail.
This is
I
gonna
thought it was
cover,
just the jail. Okay.
no, it's gonna be us, it's gonna be the jail, it's gonna be EMS,
Okay.
no hour limit.
50,000.
And that's gonna be 2 techs on board. Unless you wanna continue to pay him $75 an hour. I mean, because who knows when something's gonna come up. We can probably break it down. I know the health department was interested at one time, but I'm not sure if they went out on their own and just decide to get someone closer to them or what.
Have we got anything in writing as far as a quote in writing where it says this covers the jail, this covers the courthouse?
Yeah, I forwarded it to everybody. Last meeting, before last meeting. I might have a copy here.
And we had talked a little bit with Dudley, I mean, are we at a place to where we need to get somebody in here full time? And not go contract?
The only thing positive with this, as long as he can service us when need to be serviced, we're not paying benefits. And getting an IT person, in there, I guarantee you're gonna be paying more than $50,000 a year.
What doesn't this cover, Brendan? This covers everything for the county?
It covers EMS, courthouse, and sheriff's department. And no hardware. I'll have to go
Do
down.
you want to okay a quote from the server and we'll table the agreement? You can better research it.
There's a printout of,
I would be in favor of that.
description of the services, and it's supposed to begin September 1st of this year. This is what I had sent. And that's also maintenance for everything.
Brad had any problem staying up with stuff?
No, but I think just getting the jail started, a lot of the Cushing software, the phone lines, because he's also helping in those areas too.
Is the sheriff still around there? Is with the IT guy and the stuff at the jail, is everything okay? Are you satisfied?
Yeah, I'd still like to look around just to make sure we're getting the bang for the buck. Instead of just saying, okay, if that's, I mean, is that a problem? I mean, if it is, then I'd rather just, like I said, I'd rather just take a look at the whole thing. I'm not saying he's done a bad job or anything like that, but I want to make sure that we are still getting more painful. Okay. So,
I would agree with that. I don't think we can pass, or I would not want to pass, we'll go pass it.
So you want to get quotes? on other
I'd like to, yes. And I mean, I'd like to start with Edge Technologies there in Cartersville. That's who does Montgomery County's jail. So I just want to see what's out there. I mean, you know who they are, don't you? That, okay.
Yeah. We
And we wouldn't have to be that the IT guy handles everything in the county. We could have the jail, if we get a good price on the jail, couldn't we have the jail?
Right, that's what I'm gonna look at, just to make sure that, you know, we still have to be physically responsible here, you know, so I want to make sure that we're doing the right thing. So,
Sure. We could take a motion on the server. We could table the contract agreement for a later date.
I'll make a motion on the server.
I'll second.
Ready to vote, all those in favor? Aye. Votes 3-0. This time we'll table the amended IT contract that includes the jail.
So is the sheriff gonna seek out quotes, or am I?
yeah, that's what I just said.
You will?
Yeah.
Okay, all
I'll
right.
get mine.
I just want to make sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll take care of it.
All right. Very good. We got, I believe, a couple quotes here on the EMS side.
Tom Boo reached out to me. That's why it's on here. I got a hold, Croc got a hold of Logan. Logan got in touch with the guy that actually did our sign. Tom Boo was wanting the information on the price, as far as the lettering and the big sign that we have by the roadway.
This is Sign Solutions.
Yes. This is for Tom. It wasn't for the jail. So,
That's what he meant, yeah, so the sign.
yes. Yeah, I just did what he asked me to do, so.
But Dawson's quote.
Dawson's quote was only for the letters that are up there by the front entrance, not the actual sign by the roadway. So that's why there's one from Dawson, one from Sign Solutions.
Sorry, a sign out there.
Right.
And it's already lit up.
Right,
Yeah, but somebody wants a sign to match
the one at the jail.
the one at the jail.
I care less, so it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Yeah, Tom was wanting it, so I got it.
And I sent it on.
Well, I think $7,000 or $8,000 is way too much money to spend on a big sign, so it looks like the one next to it. I think we table that.
Yeah, absolutely. Adam, you got anything? Ready?
You got a piece of paper there that.
Yes,
Okay,
actually got two on.
Hold on, Bill.
It's, yeah, the quotes from Bell. It's just, it's something that needs to be done to compact it, continue to compact it in, and then, we're trying to get that vegetation a little thicker.
Was this a state requirement or?
Well, yes, it is. It's a requirement to compact the,
Okay, I didn't know if this was, he come out and looked and he said, hey, this wasn't.
no, I contacted him. Roger and I talked about it, after we observed what was happening with the south cell.
Okay.
And I asked Daryl, since he has the equipment there, I said, how much you charge to roll it? That's where the roll came from. And then Roger says he should fertilize it too. So I said, do you have some? He says, well, I'll get a whole series. So that's the fertilization and the rolling of the south cap. It's continuing maintenance is what it is. We want to keep that so the grass takes all the moisture, no moisture goes in the ground. So I just need you guys to say yes and we'll continue on. I mean, we've got the money in the maintenance budget, so.
Is that all motion?
It's not on there.
It's just, it's on that piece of paper I had out. It wasn't, he just sent that to me Sunday, so.
I would entertain a motion. This is on the fertilization of the south cell at $1,285. This will be through Series Solutions recommendations. And the surface roll, the south cell, the vibratory roller, in the amount of $1,100.
And this is one of those things, we don't have an option. Tim made a motion, I'll say.
Wait for the vote. All those in favor? Aye. Votes 3-0.
That's all I've got. You guys have received the report from Roger and the pictures and everything. Things are going good, look good, so we'll keep doing. Okay, thanks.
We don't have a drainage meeting today. Roger wants us to act on
I
this.
think so.
This time.
Yeah, I think that's why he called. He wasn't
Okay.
able to come. And I'll give you reports. There is money in the long drain, to do the work that is needed.
I got a call from Darren Reynolds, and I'm kind of touching on the drain side, but you got a copy of it. Estimate, this is for $2,850. This is on the total drain. And the materials are $300. And then the long ditch, repair a 24-inch tile and reshape a waterway. And brush chipping of $4,875. I got a call from Darren Reynolds on that. And Roger just called right for the meeting. on these two estimates.
So we got one. Are you just for a motion?
Yes.
I'll make a motion.
Also,
Ready for the vote, all those in favor? Votes 3-0. Jumping back to the agenda, planning commission. These are text amendments to Fountain County zoning ordinance. As to where proposed zoning ordinance if adopted will apply to all unincorporated areas of Fountain County.
This is for the solar, the plant, or the plant commission met, and I think it was 6 or 7, however many was there.
And they just don't want us to put the solar in on farm.
Gives us
right?
a base for what Fountain County tax, just like the bank ordinance did.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Ready to vote, all those in favor?
Aye.
Votes 3-0. RQAW proposal. Design to convert the community room into commissioner council meeting.
Where did this go?
The CARES Act, money with the social distancing, I mean, really what we got going on here is probably not acceptable. But, you know, this is all the states
Oh,
will
yeah,
have.
this isn't acceptable, yes.
Yes,
This room, yes.
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 So Dudley is aware of us looking into seeing if we would renovate the old community room into a bigger commissioner council room. And then CARES Act would then pay the bill because we are trying to comply with the guidelines.
And then this would be converted into 2 offices.
Yes.
One for the health
It
officer,
would-
or not
yes.
health officer, one for the
Veteran
HR,
service.
veteran services, because he doesn't have access to an elevator.
yes.
And the other be human resources.
Mhm.
And they both work for social distancing, because the wall will go right through the middle. Put a chair there, their desk is there. And
And I did forward all that, and Jacob did get back with me and said it would be acceptable expense.
that's the Barnes and Thornburg
Uh-huh.
term. Can't hold it.
And I have included Kent in a lot of these emails too.
It's free money sitting there, so. And if we get it accepted, they'll even pay the 22,000 for RQW drawings, right? So we would be out nothing.
Is there any drawback to the fact it's not handicap accessible? It doesn't have.
We looked at that down there and with the architect. He was like, boy, that's gonna be interesting. It can be done. He said.
I think he suggested like either a chair, you
But
know, like one of those individual chairs, but they did out here at first, remember when they put that chair in?
Or he said exactly what they've got down there right now and then move Warren. He
Portable
said
ramp.
1 or 2 times in 5 or 6 years, you're going to use it, have a ramp, have assistance, people come to where you can just ramp them down.
What about the times when the 4-H has had that room full?
Well,
And are you guys using it like what you used to?
We mainly had to move most of our stuff to the fairgrounds. The only time we do stuff is, I mean, during the winter time, we have meetings, but most of the time it's, if we have any questions with accessibility, we'll have to find a facility because we have to be able to get people in and out that are handicap accessible, so.
And I know right now I have a calendar where I schedule, you know, if someone needs this meeting room or the community room. So, you know, I do work with the extension office as far as this is a meeting room and we gotta have it for this. So you're gonna have to work around that schedule. And they've always
We're
been
looking
good.
at free money, absolutely positively free money to do some renovation for the house.
And this is one of the benefits of hiring Barnes and Thornburg to assist with this, because they're helping, as far as I know, most of the 92 counties and a lot of other local governments trying to identify. There's just these huge pots of resources available that courthouses and city buildings and different can be, you know, they're all old and not designed for pandemic circumstances, so that the purpose of that money is just for this, to help spot improvements that can be made, and it's an outside resource, it's something from your general fund. And so it's really it's not so much dealing with it now, it's to be set up for if something else, you know. If we were set up differently in March when all this hit, we might have been able to operate differently.
I'll make a motion to start the process.
Well, I can't vote for it because the first I heard about it was when I got the email from Brenda on what's in the meeting, and I think, I'd like to know, what are you talking, say,
We
we're
just
not.
told you. It's-
Pardon?
It's convert these two all rooms.
Have you got a proposal?
Yeah, $22,000 to start the thing.
Where's the proposal?
I emailed it to everybody.
As usual, you do.
This is
By
just,
the time this whole thing starts, you guys will be around anyhow, so. And it's free money to the county.
But I never seen, there is no,
And the attorney just told you it's free money. I said on public record it's free money.
well, we don't have to vote for it. I don't have to vote for it.
No, you don't. You don't have to vote.
Okay.
And Craig, I know that Tina and I had both spoke to you about, looking into it and everything. And so when they came, they're gonna give us two options, whether they're here. This used to be one big room, and then they built this office, so the original plans do show the 4 windows as being an open facility, so. So whether they go back, so they're gonna give us two options of what could work with the county.
and this is it's a threshold step at this point, just to hire our QAW to start to work on the design. To show what's possible. So it's just the design. It is the design phase. It's kind of still have to go through the public works process or any construction.
Well, in light of that, the fact that, and 4-H group and work around it, I would be in favor to move forward with it. So you made a motion. I'll second. Votes. Aye. Ready to vote? Yeah, 2-1. Okay.
Just have that stuff to sign for the sheriff, so that we can move forward. He had to leave.
Okay. Okay. Are you Rod Van?
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
I'm sorry.
We'd already got past that part before we got in.
Oh, really? Okay. Sorry about that.
That's all right.
Go ahead, Rob, explain what you're here to do for.
So the city of Adams got a lot of blight issues. I work as their economic development director, so we're trying to solve that. We're losing new businesses. We're losing people buying houses primarily because they drive through and they see a lot of buildings that are dilapidated and challenged. In this particular case, it's downtown. So the 3-block of historic downtown, we've got 1 block on the east side, right as you enter downtown, that's completely abandoned except for Napa. And in that block, we've been able to buy up the buildings. And when they open up blight grants next January, hopefully, we intend to get a blight grant and tear them all down. We've had structural engineers go through to see if we can save them. We worked with 2 or 3 developers to see if they wouldn't be able to save them. And as it turns out, it's just not affordable to do it. So the one that has taxes on it, and I'm here specifically to petition to have the taxes relieved on 1 building in that block. I believe it's the Masonic Lodge. I do not know the amount of those taxes. Do you know that, Brenda? It's
Give
on
all
the,
that information to the
Okay,
attorney.
Yeah, there's a statute that allows for this, and it works really well. The county executive has the authority for tax sale properties that you can, instead of letting go to tax sale, you can assign that property to a local government. And in Montgomery County, there are a number of properties that the county has more or less, you have to go through a process they deed it over to the city, and then the city makes a better use of it. So instead of letting it go through tax sale and taking the risk of somebody completing that process successfully and spending money to rehab it, you put the local government in control of it. It's a powerful economic development tool. But there's a process to go through that basically washes the taxes. So this would just be a threshold step to authorize the county and Attica to work together to try to accomplish that. There are details that we can talk about on whether Attica, the county can go through the process to acquire title and then assign it, or we can just assign the certificate and then Attica can go through the process that erases the taxes.
So I'm new to the process. I didn't fully understand it. It went up for tax sale. Someone out of Bolingbrook bought it. And then we bought it or got it, and then we bought it from them for $3,000. So we currently own it for $3,000, but the taxes are still assigned to the building. So it was not the way to do it.
Okay, well, I think there's still a way to get there. Well, I'll just have to look at it, figure it out.
Give me the it being, you're talking about the building from Napa, not
Which
Napa,
building?
The building next to Napa, clearly the old Romer furniture building.
Well, that's the area that we purchased over time,
Okay.
and we now own them all except for Napa itself.
Right.
There's one particular building that went up for tax sale that we acquired, and it still has taxes on it. I don't know how that works, but
Those buildings in between Napa and.
one building,
and,
just one building out of that group.
Is the Attica Hotel involved in that?
That's the next one. So we have two buildings that we want to talk about today, and the Attica Hotel is involved. Unfortunately, I thought we were going to save the hotel. We walked last week with an engineer, and then we had an incident over the weekend where the whole street is now cordoned off because we're afraid the hotel is going to fall into the street. So it does have taxes on it as well. The city owns it. We just bought it, or it was donated to the city, so.
Is there any way we can do this, and the county could retrieve some of this tax money, even in the future?
Well, that's what I'll look at. It's a little different scenario. The taxes are in the $3,000 to $4,000 range. Total? That's old, yeah. So, I'll have to dive in and look at it the way it's set up, and if, first of all, we have to determine whether in that process, whether the taxes are forgivable, and then make that determination. They may not be the way it's set up, so we'll look at it. First of all, we can see what we can do, and then they can make a decision on.
So at this time, we're not going to make a decision, make a motion on this particular.
Yeah, we'll get after it and try to, by the next meeting, we'll try to we can talk, and
Okay.
I think I understand regarding everything, but.
Both buildings are owned by the city.
Okay.
So if anyone had to pick up the taxes, it would be the city, and then they also have to turn around and tear the building down.
Right.
So
But
it's,
it's, I think in the future, when we get a list of the tax sale properties, if Attica sees properties that it wants, then
agreed.
we'll get out ahead of it and use a different process.
We do have a couple, I believe, coming up. There's one in particular in the city park. It's an abandoned building, and no one, we can't even reach anyone to get that building. And we do want that, of course, it's in the park. There are a couple others.
There is a process, and to answer your question, Craig, it's a cost benefit analysis. Do you want to really keep pressing and try to get the $2,000 in taxes, or do you want to get it redeveloped?
So, yeah, because what they're talking about is putting a whole brand new set of buildings through there.
Right.
And they'll be paying
So
taxes.
you make the taxes up in the future.
Right.
If in the process that I was talking, the statutory process, it scrubs the taxes so that, somebody can go forward, but then it gets rehabilitated, and then somebody starts paying taxes on it, and they're paying a lot more. Once they put $500,000 into a new property, then the AB goes up, and then the taxes go up over the future.
Right. So for the buildings in the 200 block, that's what we call it, from Napa down to Raymer. We are working with several developers, and it's a tax credit situation where they're putting in affordable housing plus retail on the bottom. So that's a 2-year-long process. You have to win the tax credit, but we believe we can score it and achieve that. And so eventually that money comes back in spades.
Yeah, in Carversville, the old hospital, which was a $4 million liability, involving asbestos in the building. I mean, there was no, it was just neither the city or the county had the money to take all that down. We were able to use this new statute to get that out of the hands of the company that owned that was just letting it sit there for 30 or 40 years and made it the worst ice storm in Carversville. Now there's about a $14 million project. So we took a $14 million liability and they got reassessed in the $12 to $14 million range. And there were tax abatements and some different things, but over the long term, it will produce a lot of income for the local government.
Right, and the hotel's very similar. We have someone that was willing to come in and save the main part of the hotel. It's probably $2 million to do that. I mean, I don't know why he's doing it, but so essentially we walked it and we had plans to do it. Over the weekend, we don't think we can save it.
What happened? What happened over the weekend? What's occurred?
There was a loud noise and we're not sure if it was fireworks or actually from the building, but when they ran a drone over the top of it, there's a section right up front of the roof that has collapsed down about 2 feet. And if you look at the front facade, there are additional cracks and so forth. And so we're very concerned. Already, the south end has peeled away from the structure, collapsed in the corner and is bowing out. So it's going, we know that. But we didn't think the front facade was going. And now we think the front facade is going as well.
So all those people in the apartments, a couple buildings down, have been displaced.
Yes, the building next door, they put them in the hotel overnight. This just happened yesterday.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and I believe across the street, that's not an issue, so.
Right.
Because if it falls, it'll probably fall 20, 25 feet out. That's as far as it goes. Yeah, it's not a great situation, but we just would like to find a way to forgive those so that the city's not on the hook for that, because they would be at this point.
Wait for your recommendation.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, Ron.
Okay.
I just wanted to ask back on this RQ, AW, whatever this is. You understand, I mean, it looks like in this thing, and I got this on, it was Thursday afternoon, which would have been Thursday. So really, on the weekend, I look at it. I did look at this, and this $22,000, this is the fee we're paying these people. That's no construction, that is nothing. I mean, that's kind of like.
If we get it, it'll all be paid for.
Nothing else. Very good. Brandon, have anything else?
Brandon, do you have anything else?
No, this time that's it. That's part of it. No.